All human beings have a degree of curiosity, but some are hyper curious and they want to do something extraordinary. So it happened with Charles Darwin, a young British naturalist who wanted to study plants and animals and rocks far away from his home. He set out from Southampton in a small ship called HMS Beagle and set out to a place pretty far off, Ecuador, towards South America. We went to Galapagos Islands. Term Galapagos refers to giant tortoises. In that area you have a cluster of islands. We went to these islands and studied plants and animals, their antiques, their reproductive mannerisms, their morphology, anatomy, etc. He spent years doing that. He made notes of all those changes. And after that, he returned to his home. But then, having spent years outside his home in a difficult situation, he became sick. And he started musing over all these things that happened to him, the things that he observed in his early life. He said, "My gosh, I spent my youth studying these animals, plants. What did I actually find?" He wanted to summarize. One of the things that occurred to him was that plants and animals are quite different. And he said that, well, the differences do occur between individuals, even identical twins have differences. He said that I haven't observed any two individuals 100% alike, which means difference, variation is the rule of life. Variation is the rule of nature. Well, that was first thing. Then he said that all plants and animals are endowed with tremendous capacity to reproduce. They have a great fecundity, which can be determined by the number of eggs and sperms produced by them. Even the slowest breeder, like elephant, can over a period of 75 years or 750 years can produce a huge number of individuals. Even 1 cc of a seminal fluid contains about 100 million spermatozoa, and each sperm is capable of fertilizing an egg. If they were all to fertilize, they would produce 100 million human beings. Just imagine the fecundity power of animals and plants. Now, as a sequel to that, what would happen? Overproduction. Large number of animals and plants would be produced in a short space with limited resources, food resources, because the space is not stretchable. As a result, there will be some kind of overcrowding, and this overcrowding will result in a problem, and the problem for food and shelter, because these two are extremely important for life. And as a result of struggle, some would die, some would perish, others would survive. They would survive by virtue of better qualities, better features. And when they survive, what would they do? They would again reproduce. As a result of that, there would be large number of animals and plants progeny again, and they would again fight. So this kind of situation would go on and on. Overproduction, struggle, survival. This is called Darwinian cycle. The cycle would go on, and after a few generations, you would find that the progeny would be sufficiently different from those of the earlier ones, that these newly formed ones might be different species, sufficiently different from the previous ones, and capable of reproducing among themselves. As a result of would there be a different species. So one species give rise to another species through this kind of cycle called Darwinian cycle. This cycle goes on in all plants and animals of the world, and perhaps this is the cause of biodiversity.